Hello.
Hi,
Hello. How are you today?
I'm really fine.
Have you have dinner yet?
Yeah, I like I finished my
Mm-hmm.
dinner like a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you have dinner that late?
Yeah.
Usually I have dinner around 6 p.m. So
Oh,
is
really?
it
That's
that soon for you? Is it normal to have dinner at 8?
no, I actually like uh we have I had dinner at around
Mm-hmm.
7:30 or something, but like because there were so many delicious dishes that
Mm-hmm.
so I stayed at the
Mm-hmm.
table for a little while.
Is that from your mom cooking?
Actually, um, I had my I had my grandmother done the dinner.
Oh wow. So your
Yeah.
grandmother is still cooking for the family?
Yeah. Sometimes it's my grandmother, and sometimes it's my mother.
Oh, okay. So it's the same as my family. Like my grandmother also cooks sometimes when my mom is busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As I promised, today we will study illness, but something related to the author that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. So So from the movie The Great Gatsby, do you remember any quote
Yeah.
from that? Like any beautiful lines that you feel like, oh, that's beautiful saying, something like that?
Like I don't particularly remember it, but
Mm-hmm.
like I was like um but there was this scene that it really like take my breath
Mm.
like took my breath that like when Gatsby stand like and all the party going on behind his back like it was really great, and he said something like about the party and about his loneliness or something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
yeah.
just send you the link of some of the quotes you can find in the novel and in the films. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I guess it's like the one that and I like large parties, they are so intimate. All a small no, not this one, but like um
This is from
what you
the friend,
yeah.
the cousin who said this at the beginning when he went with the husband to a small party.
Yeah, well, actually, one
Oh,
is not that one, but like I think it's like you see, I usually find myself among strangers because
mm,
I live here, and and they're trying to forget the sad things that happened to me. I guess that. Yeah.
oh, okay. So you like that quote. But do you
Yeah,
agree
like
that like small party there isn't any privacy and large party somehow so intimate? Do you know the word intimate?
um, no, not like
Intimate mean thân mật
oh
or something very close.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So so why did he say something like I like large party because it's intimate and other party like small one there isn't any privacy.
Um,
Isn't it so odd when he says so or it does make sense somehow?
well, when you think about it, it's pretty odd because because of course, small parties would be more
Mhm.
intimate than the large ones.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but I think it's not odd at all when it's uh Gatsby say it.
Okay. This is from the cousin of Daisy. You remember the
Oh,
girl with black hair, black bob hair who playing golf?
yeah, I remember Daisy. She was the one who Gatsby in love with.
And then there is a tag-along girl, her cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, I like large parties. They are so intimate. So I
Oh,
think, for example, if you are in a very large party, like high school party, um,
yeah.
you would likely to talk only to your close friend or just like one-on-one talking with someone, right? So
Yeah.
somehow that is more private than talking to a table of 5 people. Like
Oh.
for a small party, maybe there would be 5 or 6 or 7 people in the table. Then you are forced to say something to a group of people, right? But
Yeah.
when in a large parties and no one pay attention to you, then you can turn to just one person and then have a chat, a long talk with that person.
Yeah.
So that's how maybe that's how you say like large parties are so intimate in a way.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Can you see the second quote? I hope she be a fool. That's the best things a girl can be in this world. A beautiful little fool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this is exactly what the wife of the writer said when she gave birth to a baby girl.
Oh.
So she was in kind of like subconscious and she was in pain delivering the baby. And she told her husband, the writer, that I'm so happy that our child was a baby girl, and she wanted it to be a fool. Okay, so what do you think of the code? Is that so contradicting?
I mean, I don't know, but I just think of this
Mm-hmm.
like code is that like the writer's wife uh wanted her child to be a fool because uh mm, you know because I don't know. It's sort of like I have a feeling like because she wanted her child to be protected
Mm-hmm.
by the others. Like if she is a fool, then like someone else will
Mm-hmm.
protect her by other things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
So
so.
you think like from whom, what kind of person, what kind of woman or mother would say that to her daughter? Would she be a smart mother or would she be a very foolish mother?
I think she is like I don't know. I mean like little child because like she want her child to be protected and
Mm-hmm.
her child to be given all the best things in the world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to tell you the truth, um, the wife of the writer Scott, she was actually pretty smart. She was talented somehow. She could write, she could draw, she could do a lot of things. And I
Oh.
think when she said that about her daughter, she wanted her daughter to have a simpler life because when you
Oh.
know too much, then your life is complicated.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, like if you are poor, then you live a simple life, and then you got
Yeah.
protected from like men, right? But then if you are a smart woman or an intelligent woman, then you know the like interested in society, men versus woman, and then other thing like very discrimination, very not very feminist, and then you feel miserable. because you're too smart to see all the interesting. So I think when the wife or Daisy said so, I mean that person, that female character, they must be some sort of very smart and intelligent to say so, or at least
Yeah,
very
I
wise.
think like I think the writer's
Mm-hmm.
wife is really smart and like her her words actually have deep meaning
Mm-hmm.
in it, and I really think that she should be a writer herself.
Yeah, she did try to have a career, a writing career. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, she did write some article under her husband name. Okay, so there was
Oh,
a time he had the contract to write short stories for a magazine, and then some of the writing was hers, but then he told her that there should be one Fitzgerald, like in the writing field. So he disregarded her talent, and then
oh,
some sort of forced her to using his name or code name so that they sell better with like higher price for each of the articles.
oh,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. So so some of the writing from his was actually her. And then he actually used a lot of her words and lines or sentences from her diary or letter that she sent to him and then use it in the novel as a
oh,
materials as materials.
yeah.
Yeah, and then she did manage to get a book, a novel published. Yeah, and he was so angry with that action. He said like him gonna use this material between their marriage to publish another novel, and now he was very mad when she's some sort of like did the upper hand and published the novel before him.
No.
Yeah, and he also involved in editing the novel, and because the novel is about their marriage, so he kind of like cutting out all the parts saying bad things about him, and then somehow the novel looks not very natural in the way of saying.
Yeah.
And then he also have a word with a publisher to say like to publish this novel in a normal cover, not a very attractive one. And then the sale of that novel from her was very poor. Like no one want to buy, or the reaction from the readers are not very good. And then that's the reason why she eventually became some sort of lunatic. She went crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's really bad.
Yeah. So in a word, Scott was sort of somehow abusive in a marriage.
Yeah,
Mm.
like he's like used everything he. I feel like he even used his wife like love
Mhm.
to sell it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like he sell his wife love, and it's really terrible.
Mhm.
And I'm worrying. Um, and I'm wondering if like the Great Gatsby was actually his wife. What was it?
It wasn't her book. It was his book, but some he based mainly Daisy on her character. So every female character from his novel were actually his wife.
Oh,
Yeah, and he kind of like created a term or like a model of girls based on his wife, and she called them flapper girl.
uh-huh.
Yeah, you can Google it later, but then flapper girl are the girl from the 1920s who are very carefree and smokes and loves and express her feeling freely. So like white girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And So somehow he's really loved his wife, that he based mostly of his female character from her. And then when she went crazy, it was like the period of time when she was crazy was like 10 years, and he keep on supporting the money so that she can stay in the crazy house for like sickness treatment. And this treatment was very expensive. It cost him like a lot, but he
Oh,
never ever abandoned
oh,
her.
so like after she went
Mm-hmm.
crazy, like
Mm-hmm.
I guess he kind of like realized that how important she was to him.
Yeah. So to him, she was like his inspiration in many ways, and he wrote many times how he was so sad and couldn't
Yeah.
able to write like another concept of novel because he's still clinging to the happy time when they were together, and he
Oh.
still like he kind of like frozen her in an image and still remember that image to the day he died, and he couldn't
Oh.
move on from that image, her to another woman. Like he did have some sort of affair with other women, but he always came back to her, and then always
Yeah.
very supportive, pay for the bill of the hospital and everything for her.
Oh.
Yeah, well, he did want her to be successful, but not in like writing career. There was time that he was so happy that she kind of developed the drawing skill, and then she wanted to open an art gallery, and then in some book people say that there was him like out of the street, like giving everyone like flyers about his wife art gallery exhibition, and then he was very happy and like earnest to like present his wife work to the world, but not writing. So he particularly didn't like her to step into his career. He just want her to be successful in other field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so well, to be honest, I kind of understand that he really loved her a lot, but like just some side of him
Mm-hmm.
like was so selfish
Yeah.
that he wanted to keep that writing career to himself, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want to share it with his wife.
Yeah. He just they just love each other in a very wrong way.
Yeah.
Like he tried a lot of time to focus on writing, but she somehow kept distracting him. Like if he spent too much time on writing, she would like went out, go partying, and then make him worry about her. And then eventually he had to go to the party with her.
Oh.
Yeah, she also love him in the wrong way. So they both love each other, but in a very wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 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 today let's see her sickness. Yeah. So like the brief introduction. So she wants to have a career, as you know, like when she was young, she wanted to be a ballet dancer, ballerina. But
Oh.
then when she married to him, she stopped dreaming about being a ballerina or the ballet dancer. And then when she rethought about she wanted a career, not just a wife of his. So she began dancing lesson, but in a very old age. So if you are 16, then it's okay. You can have a career in ballet. But imagine you are 20 something. So your body is old and weak, and you cannot
Yeah.
ever get the part
Like,
when you are the
yeah. Like
lead
you're no.
female character in a play, a ballet play.
Yeah, like your
Mm-hmm.
body is no longer flexible, so
Mm-hmm.
you can't do all the dance moves, and you cannot. And it's really hard to get a play at that
Mhm.
age.
Yeah, so after many rejections from like people and director and even her teacher, like her ballet teacher, like the teacher said like she could never be like in a important role in a play. She have a kind of breakdown, like sụp đổ, breakdown, and then
Oh,
began of
yeah.
her sickness as mentally sickness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you read? Let's try to read the article. How crazy was Zelda? Zelda is her name.
Okay. By the time these letters were written, F. Scott Fitzgerald had been struggling for years to find the right approach to describe Zelda's recurrent mental illness. She started to show signs of serious disturbance in the late 1920s, and in November 1930 she began a 50-month stay at the Pregnancy Clinic in Switzerland.
Okay,
Three
so
months.
here we have the adjective recurrent. Recurrent. So it's an adjective to indicate something occur often or repeatedly. And then you see the right approach. Right approach to his wife Zelda recurrent mental illness. So right approach is hướng giải quyết ha. Hướng giải quyết cho cái
Uh-huh.
việc bị mental illness ha. Okay?
Yeah.
And you know the word disturb. For example, I don't want to disturb you. Disturb. So here we have disturbance. So it's a noun. And disturbance means like you don't feel calm or you don't feel stable. You always feel some sort of overexciting.
Oh,
Overexcitement. Yeah. Rối loạn hoặc là khó chịu đó. Yeah, but
yeah.
it's a symptom of illness, disturbance.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she was installed in the clinic. So clinic is the hospital. So
Yeah.
sometimes
Like
you got a clinic, sometimes you got a hospital.
yeah.
Uh,
But a clinic is like a small one that is
yeah, just
just run by a doctor, and like
mm-hmm,
only it's like only focus on some
mm-hmm.
um
Field of medical
yeah,
field.
on a field, not
Yeah,
many like a
yeah.
hospital.
Yes, a hospital can have a lot of fields, but then clinic maybe it's a mental clinic, so it's only like serve
About
for
mental illness.
mental illness. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same as college and university. College is just one field of study, and then university contains smaller college school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we have 3 months after her release. She had a relapse. Relapse.
Okay.
Relapse means that you return to be
Try to be
sick.
like sick, like
Mm-hmm.
she
So
began to.
so
Did she start showing the signs again?
yeah. So after a temporary improvement, so she seems to improve her condition, but then she had a relapse. So relapse is tái bệnh ha, tái bệnh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
she had a relapse, and Fitzgerald contacted Dr. Jonathan Slocum, owner of a posh clinic, Gray House in Beacon, New York. Zelda stayed 9 weeks. Fitzgerald continued to live in Baltimore. At the time, social visits were discouraged during the first weeks of hospitalization, and it was in this period that he wrote the bulk of the letters to Slocum.
Okay, so here we have the word hospitalization
So,
là bị nhập viện. Okay,
yeah.
là cái thời gian nhập viện ha. Or you can
Yes.
use it as a verb mà là bị động ha. Ví dụ như she was hospitalized. Là cô ấy bị nhập viện ha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. At first, he suggested that Zeta was
So
schizophrenic.
this is pronounced schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic.
It's a very medical term, which means tâm thần phân liệt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he thought that his wife was schizophrenic.
Yeah. But later, Fitzgerald seemed to resist that diagnosis or the notion that her illness entailed an organic psychosis. I would rather have that a sadistic than a realist. At the same time, he lists a series of elements that may shed light on Dada's condition. A sign that he was looking for a physical causation after all.
Okay, so at first Scott agreed that maybe Zelda was schizophrenic, but then he thought somehow maybe it was something else. It wasn't Zelda was schizophrenic, but something else. Yeah, and continue.
Okay. Zelda's asthma, mentioned twice in the letters to Dr. Slocum, was thought to have played a role in her relapses, a phenomenon that once caused Fitzgerald to write, "I can't help clinging to the idea that some essential physical thing like salt, or iron, or cement, or some unguessed holy water is either missing or is present in too great quantity."
Okay, so we have here one symptom. It is asthma. You know that word? Asthma means hen suyễn ha. Hen suyễn. So have difficulty in breathing.
Okay.
Yeah, so asthma, hen suyễn. So he thought that maybe her condition was caused by some kind of physical things, for example, asthma, or like salt, iron, cement, or unguessed at holy water, some kind of elements, physical elements that cause her to went crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 60 years later, that physical element has still not been identified either for the schizophrenia or for diagnosis that might now be entertained as explaining a part of Zelda's condition, manic depression.
So let me explain here. So schizophrenia is the noun of schizophrenic. Okay. Nãy mình có cái chữ schizophrenic ở phía trên á, là cô ấy bị rối loạn tâm thần phân liệt đúng không? Thì đây là cái bệnh tâm thần phân liệt. Okay. And sau này nè, 60 năm sau đó thì là cũng chưa giải thích được là thật sự là cái physical gì làm cho Zelda bị bệnh hết. Nhưng mà có một cái cách khác để giải thích ha, đó là manic depression. Thì manic depression là rối loạn lưỡng cực. Depression không nghĩa là trầm cảm á. Ví dụ như feeling depressed hoặc là depression là bị trầm cảm ha.
Yes.
Thì ví dụ như bị trầm cảm sau khi sinh là post-child depression, là sau khi có đứa con thì bị depressed thì là post-child depression. Còn manic depression là rối loạn lưỡng cực. Lưỡng cực là sao? Có nghĩa là cảm thấy sometimes you feel over happy and the other time you feel over sad. Extremely sad or extremely happy. There is no between, so you just feel extremely something. Thì nó là manic depression.
Yeah. Okay.
Ở đây mình đọc tiếp xuống tới
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Continue Zelda spending sprees, her passionate love of life and intense
social relationships, her melancholic response to disappointment, and the relatively late onset of her illness. She was born in 1900. Point Howard a mood disorder, as does the alternation between frank discourses and a sparkling, provocative personality.
Ở đây mình sẽ thấy luôn những cái chữ tiếp theo ha, ví dụ như là mood disorder đó thì là nó giải thích cho cái rối loạn lưỡng cực đó. Thì mood là cái tâm trạng đúng không? Like I'm not in the mood or what is your mood là cái tâm trạng. Disorder là bị rối loạn disorder.
Okay.
Ở đây cái chữ disorder này dùng được nhiều thứ lắm ha. For example, you can say eating disorder là bị rối loạn về ăn uống. Eating disorder. Rồi ví dụ như là mood disorder. Rồi có những trường hợp ví dụ như là other illness with disorder. For example, you can also say mental disorder. So it uses some kind of like confusion. Yeah.
Wait a second.
For example, you can also have sorry. Hello.
Yeah. So I'm really sorry, but like, because the connection here today is pretty bad, so like, it's being so like the conversation is like it's keeping interrupted, so
Okay.
I had to.
Yeah. Do you want to continue or you want to continue the other time?
No. We can continue now. It's like it's okay now.
If you have like anxiety disorder, một cái từ khác có thể dùng anxiety là lo âu á, Anxiety disorder thì nó cũng là một dạng như là trầm cảm mà trầm cảm về mặt lo âu á.
Yeah.
Hoặc là mood disorder ha. Yeah.
Yes.
Hoặc là nếu mà ăn mà bị rối loạn tiêu hóa hoặc là có lúc ăn nhiều có lúc ăn ít thì là eating disorder.
Okay. Yeah. So
tiếp tục nè. Zelda seems to have received
expert psychotherapy at Grey House, but her illness were relentless.
Okay. Cái này ha, cái chữ mà BSI á, thì lúc nào cũng đọc là psy, bỏ mất chữ B luôn. Psychologist là nhà tâm lý nè.
Yes.
Psychotherapy là chữa trị về mặt tâm lý ha. Psychotherapy.
Yeah. Psychotherapy.
Okay. Her illness were relentless. Nghĩa là sao? Relentless nghĩa là bị gì? Như thế nào?
Cannot be cured, I guess.
Hoặc là đúng rồi, cannot be cured ha, hoặc là nó không có dễ để mà chữa trị hoặc là nó cứ liên tục kéo dài, relentless.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Đó, ở đây mình thấy cái chữ bị nhập viện nè. She was hospitalized.
Hospitalized. Okay. Yeah.
À,
For the better part of the 30s and intermittently thereafter.
Thereafter, she died in
She died in
1948.
8 years after her husband in a fire in a mental hospital in Asheville, NC, where she was receiving insulin shock treatments.
Insulin á, mình biết cái chất đó không? Insulin.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a chemical, and then she was like receiving insulin shock treatment, là một cái chữa trị mà là tiêm insulin vô người ha.
Yes.
Okay, so for your information, so Scott was dead by a heart attack. Ổng bị đau tim, ổng chết. But before that, he was also very ill. He was suffer from bệnh lao phổi nè, and then some other thing. And I think, to be honest, I think he was some sort of mental illness too. But then he wasn't admitted himself to a hospital or a clinic to get treatment.
Yeah. I guess like he wanted all the treatment that he should have used on himself to be used for Zelda.
No, he was so stubborn to admit that he was sick.
Oh, okay.
And he was playing the role of the roof of the family, giống như dạng như quá gia trưởng rồi, quá dạng như là độc đoán rồi tự nghĩ là mình không bị gì hết, mình là người nắm quyền trong gia đình á. So he admitted her to the hospital for hospitalization, but he never like admitted to the doctor himself that he was sick.
Yeah.
And there was no other people who had the authority to like put him in the hospital, you know.
Yeah.
So they were two adults, and he played the male, the alpha male. So he put her in the hospital, but then at the same time, she couldn't do anything to put him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how they are dead. Like both of them are dead.
Like he was killed by his stepbones.
Okay, so at below was Scott writing to the doctor of Zelda, like some sort of like other like symptom that he think that may cause the sickness of her.
Yeah.
So just a few highlights before we can end. Colitis. Okay. Colitis. So in the letter, she did have one case of colitis, which was finally cured by an appendix operation almost 10 years ago. So you seen that?
Yes.
So colitis means viêm loét đại tràng.
Oh.
So some kind of stomach ache, very bad stomach ache.
Yeah, I kind of know that. Like my mom, I think my mom, she also has colitis.
Really? That's serious. Was
Yeah. So like she couldn't eat for like about a year, and she was really sick. But after that, I think her case got better, and now she's healthier than before.
Oh, okay. Like sickness related to stomach was terrible. Always
like,
terrible.
Yeah, like you cannot eat anything.
And then you know like soy ruột á. It was very painful. Someone put a tube into your throat and then put it out to take a photo of your stomach.
Oh, so like you have to do it like when you're awake. Like
Yeah,
you can.
you have to do it when you're awake, because some people may be allergic to thuốc gây mê á. So what if they took thuốc gây mê and they dead like peacefully? So usually normal things like soi ruột, you would do it when you're awake and you're trying to swallow the tooth. A very, it's not small, it's very big, it's even big
Yeah,
in the light of the earphone.
yeah. I have saw that. What I have seen that one before. Oh, like so, it's kind of like a little bit gross and also
Yeah, and it was,
painful to
yeah,
imagine it.
it was so uncomfortable. I was so nervous when it was my turn, and then I forgot to breathe.
Yeah,
I forgot to breathe, and then when the doctor say relax, breathe, and I remember that I haven't take a breath for a while, and then I feel like I couldn't do any kind of breathing.
yeah, how can you breathe when there is some sort of tube in your throat?
Yeah, and then it was a very uncomfortable situation, and I was glad that I just did it just one time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, it, does it like necessary to take some sort of like
Um.
check? I think.
So when you, I don't know the word for English, but when you nội um, chụp X-quang hoặc là siêu âm á, you
Yeah.
couldn't see some sort of like virus or some sort of a virus who caused colitis. So unless you took a photo inside your stomach, then you can identify the illness from the stomach. Yeah. So
Oh,
usually
like,
after like siêu âm or X-quang, and then doctor gives you some sort of pre, like medicines, and you didn't feel well, then they would probably ask you to do soi ruột, soi dạ dày ha, and then they find out the real cause for your illness.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
and it was so terrible.
yeah. So, like, I really hope that I won't have any like stomach
Mm.
illness illness that related that to the
Mm-hmm.
stomach.
Yeah.
It's so.
You can avoid it easily. Like you can don't eat something that is too extreme, like extremely hot, extremely spicy, or extremely sour. So don't do anything too extreme, and that's be fine. You will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and here we have continued sentence. Also, she had 2 attacks of chronic asthma. Okay, so we have the adjective goes before asthma, chronic. So what can chronic possibly mean?
So I guess chronic here mean like serious.
So sometimes you see this word chronicle.
Yeah.
So what does it mean, chronicle?
Um. I don't really remember it, but
Mm,
like there was this movie that had the word chronicle, right?
biên
Like,
biên niên sử Narnia, right?
yeah, yeah.
So chronic is some sort of like có cái chu trình chu kỳ. Okay,
Oh,
so it's if something is chronic, it means that it reappear after a while.
oh,
For
okay.
example, yeah, I also have a chronic asthma. So during spring, I feel I bị I'm not, I don't have asthma, but I have hen suyễn á.
Oh, yeah.
Bị
Or
hơi
like,
bị viêm xoang thôi chứ không đến là hen suyễn ha, nhưng mà cứ mỗi mùa xuân thì nó hay tái lại á, thì nó là chronic.
yeah. It's like many people also like have a chronic allergy
Mm-hmm.
when winter comes, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, viêm xoang là sin sinusitis, viêm xoang. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can have a chronic sinusitis, which means like every once a year or like for a while you got that symptom. Yeah, so
Yeah.
chronic. So chronic also means something more serious than the normal thing. So if you see the
Oh.
word chronic with a symptom or a sickness, this means it's mãn tính. Mãn tính. The
Mm-hmm.
correct word for it would be mãn tính. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we go with continue. You see the another highlight, the yellow highlight. She is hypersensitive to adrenaline.
Okay. Yes.
Hyper là cái gì đó quá ha, nó cùng nghĩa với over, nhưng mà hyper nó phấn khích luôn á, nó mang nghĩa là phấn khích ha. Hypersensitive là cực kỳ nhạy cảm, hoặc là
Yeah.
dẫn đến cái triệu chứng gì đó mà là giống như là có
Yeah.
một cái reaction luôn á. To
Yeah.
adrenaline, adrenaline là một cái chất ha, cái chất gọi là cái chất tự bản thân mình tiết ra mà nó gây
Yeah.
mình phấn khích á.
Yeah.
Ừ.
So.
Okay, so I think that's it for today. A lot of heavy stuff already.
Yeah. Like I think as is right. Like when I get to know all these words, I think I should attend in a nurse university.
Yeah, you can become thư ký y khoa. Like if you are interested in like medical terms of illness and other thing, and you don't want to be a doctor, you can be someone who translates something so that you can help someone or save someone by your word.
Yeah, I seriously think that if like I can remember all these words, and it's probably possible to to do that job.
Yeah, of course. Like before you are admitted to the hospital, you would have some sort of training, and by training, like you have a time to study vocabulary,
Yeah.
very specific vocabulary for medical term. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So em có bị viêm xoang không?
Yeah.
Em có bị viêm xoang không? Viêm xoang.
No, like I'm
Okay.
a really healthy person, so
Okay.
I don't have any serious illness.
Because,
Yeah.
for example, sometimes in the speaking test, they would ask you to describe like a very regular sickness that you had, or a time that you get very sick.
Oh, so like should I make out like uh like should I talk about an illness which I know about but like I don't really have it?
Um, yeah, if it's possible, you can use a easy word that we learned before. For example, like if you trying to describe a very bad flu, right?
Yes.
So you can use the word flu. You can use the
Yeah.
word like plucked nose là bị nghẹt mũi đúng không?
Yes.
Nose. And then fever. Having a fever là bị sốt cao nè đúng không? Rồi
Yes.
ví dụ như là nếu mà mệt quá thì mình có thể nói thêm chữ fatigue. Bữa mình học á, fatigue.
Yeah. And probably should I like sometime I guess like when I have a flu, sometimes I also have diarrhea.
Okay, you can also say diarrhea. It's also a very medical term word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. And then if they ask you to describe someone illness, like someone you know which was very illness, then you
Yes.
can like describe Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of like describe Zelda, but in term of like a very an acquaintance that you know, một cái người
Yes.
thân hay bà con vậy ha, xong rồi nói
Yeah.
bà bị vậy đó, bà bị khùng rồi, bà bị rối loạn những cực tùm lum la chứ.
Yeah.
People were like,
Like
wow, this girl knows a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's for getting through a very tough topic of IELTS speaking. Nhưng mà thật sự mà phải gặp cái IELTS speaking này cũng hơi khó ha. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably dead. Like right at the moment when I like pick the topic, and if I can read, and if it's this topic, I think I'm probably gonna fail.
But we did talk about it today, so you do have some words to like pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably it's not going too bad though, but like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can use this word irritability. So sometimes you feeling khó chịu á, thì you feel irritable, okay?
Yeah.
Or you
Irritate.
can try to
Yeah.
say irritability as a noun.
Yes.
So you can say I was facing fatigue and irritability. And also fever, and I had blocked nose, so my nose was blocked, and it was a very bad flu. Yeah. And then you can talk about how your mom taking care of you, like, but my mom was the best, and she took care of me during that time. She was there checking every hour
Yes.
for my fever and then my temperature, other thing. Yeah. I remember having this writing in ngữ văn, right?
Yeah, like in
Miêu tả một
primary school or like
miêu tả
when
một
you
lần em rất bệnh or something like that, right?
yeah, like in primary school like there's a test where you had to describe people who you love the most, and like when you describe your mom in some way, that experience of having your mom
Taking care of you.
care of you. Yeah.
I remember a funny experience memory. So we did have that writing, and on the day of the results, the teacher read some of our writing.
Yeah,
Which
and
she
it was all the same experience.
and yeah, so some of the students who sat next to each other have the same mom.
Yeah.
And then there was one example that she read because she thought it was illogical or somehow very funny, because that schoolboy, he tried to describe his mom in a very terrible way, like after taking care of him, the mother some sort of seems like a zombie.
Oh my god.
With like dark circle eyes and like extremely tired, but just for one night taking care of him.
Like, well, it's like really maybe it's not too illogical in illogical in real life, but like he shouldn't like describe his mom like that. Like,
So he some sort of like overdid
yeah,
overdid the description.
yeah, he oh didn't overridden that. Like like who would become a zombie just after one night?
Yeah, and then also same task of describing a person. The other student, my classmate, he wrote something about his grandmother, and he saying this: my grandmother loves đánh đề and đánh bài, and then when the police came, my grandmother was so scared and she was so in a hurry that she forgot to bring her slipper, so she didn't wear her slipper, and eventually she got hurt. Her feet hurt because she didn't wear any shoes or slippers when she ran from the police.
What? Like now I'm really thinking about like was he serious or not? Like What?
Yeah, and well, it's a very fun memory to think of it right now. I I don't know if he still remember it, but like it's a funny memory for me, like to tell you now.
Yeah, it's really funny. Um, like my class,
Mm.
I didn't have that many moments, and
Mm.
like it's just like it's there wasn't something too special except for that one for that one test. Like we got a test
Uh-huh.
and we well it's not well it's more like homework and
Mhm.
we do a home like to write about something. I don't really remember,
Mhm.
but when I was in primary school, all my like writing were copied from the internet,
Yeah.
and well, I didn't get exposed until uh this homework.
Uh-huh.
I also had I I did have high score
Uh-huh.
and the teacher read it out loud, and she also read another good
Mhm.
one out, and somehow like our both were like exactly the same.
Okay. Well, I think that the teacher somehow had to accept that with this task, somehow you have to make it up, right? Like
And
it's
like
very.
not make it up, but like more like copy from
Mhm.
the internet
Yeah.
100%, like
Mm.
to like copy every single word from the internet. So
Yeah.
I so so mine was like exactly the same as another boy's.
Well, it's okay because it's a kiểm tra tập trung, right?
um yeah,
So it's
so
more like the teacher appreciated that you remember the writing, maybe a sample of writing from the internet. But
yeah,
if it's
probably.
a submitted essay, for example, you did it at home and then you submitted it, then the teacher would be angry. Yeah.
Yeah,
But during the time ticking in thing that you are able to write, then it's okay to copy some of the ideas from the internet. The
yeah,
point is to produce something from a period of time. Yeah.
yes,
So for example, like if you got, for example, if you read the same material for IELTS and then there was a task that you got into the exam, then you probably got the same idea as other people. But then you didn't copy anything. You try to remember all the material that you learned. So it is acceptable.
yeah,
And it's hard to write for your own from your own experience. Like sometimes I wish my mom can be a hero so that it's easy to write, but then we
yeah.
are just normal person, and then
But
there's nothing special, or we don't have that
so
that talented to bring out the the
like
beautiful thing from our mom and dad.
yeah, so like you have to make it out like you have to make it as some sort of like moments or experience that like your mom did something that really
Mhm.
impressive and like is really like you have to make it out in order to achieve
Yeah,
score.
I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah, it's hard. It's I can like feel sympathy to you because
yeah,
I've been through the whole thing like you, and sometimes I copy something from the internet.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So that is it for today. I'll see you on Tuesday. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
eh,
And bye. Enjoy your
yeah,
night.
yeah. You do enjoy the night. And can you like check out uh what the document I guess that I sent you about the history topic, history class topic or something? Yeah, can you check it out? Like I just really want to know what should I fix and yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can send me your essay and then I can fix it for you.
Uh Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I actually sent it to you like at the beginning of our class. So
Okay, sure. Let me see. I didn't receive. Okay, history class, right?
yes.
Okay, I will take a look at it and give you some feedback. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Have a good night.
Good night.